These are the online 5 pillars that everybody that wins does it the most. They are in order because it matters. What's the first one up there, Ms. Miller?
Speed matters. 70% of the time, a consumer is going to talk to the first agent that they are going to work with, the first agent that they talk to. Not the best, by the way, the first. So speed is the most important part of this game. I tell my team all the time, we find the right path forward by implementing an imperfect plan. You need to take action now. You need to answer the phone now. You need to call the database now. It's not the consumer's job to find you. It's your job to find them. It's your job to ask for the business. And by the way, I believe that every agent's success is in direct proportion to the number of people who know that they want to be their real estate agent. The best thing a coach ever told me in my real estate career was this: if you do not ask for the business, you're telling them that you don't want it. If you don't ask for the business, you are telling them that you don't want it. And the way that you ask for the business in the world of speed is you answer your phone and pick up the phone to follow up. Because if you're going to be part of that 70% that converts, you have to be in front of the consumer.
Think about this. I'm a little more seasoned than Nikki, a little more experienced.
Just a little.
Lots older. And I still do. Who leaves voicemails now?
It personally offends me when people leave me.
It bothers me. I'm old. My spa broke 2 weeks ago. I love spas. It's a nice thing to do. So I call a plumber, voicemail. Call the next guy, oh, the third guy says we're routing you to, he answers the phone. Who do you think got the job? And I wouldn't have cared what he told me. Hey man, I'm expensive. Awesome. How fast can you be here and fix this thing? So for all of us, if you want to win, your business has to be available to the consumer when they want to look. Period, the end. So having a number that rings 4 of your agent phones simultaneously. Creating a system around how people can engage with you. But if you're not going to be available fast when the consumer wants you, we're going to have a problem. Number 2, everybody's fear in a lead, whether it be an agent-to-agent referral, an aggregated referral, anybody's fear is what happens after they give it to you. If they don't get communicated with, they tend to think you're not doing anything. The influence objective of a lead is to get it to close. But if I don't hear anything in between, my gap narrative says you're not doing anything with it. So we teach our agents, it didn't happen unless you put it down, write it down in the communication pathway of the lead provider.
Let me give you an example that we give all of our agents. How many of you are in a relationship of some kind or have been before? Raise your hand. Awesome, you'll understand this reference. This is the equivalent of being in a relationship and saying I love you one time, and 30 years later, you're no longer together because they're like, well, you never told me you love me. And you're like, well, I told you that one time. If you don't tell me, I don't know how you feel. I don't know what you're doing. I don't know the update. You have to tell the aggregator in our world, you have to put it into your command database so I know what you're doing too. Because you might be working your tail off, but if you're not telling anybody about it, how do they know? If you're not communicating that message, they have no way of knowing that you're actually out there doing the work. So this is your way in this world of telling them, I'm out there doing the work. I'm continuing to have the conversations. I'm doing the 17 follow-ups to do everything I can to get this lead to the finish line, because that's how we both get paid, right? So you have to communicate that you are in fact in front of it, that you are working, so they know that you're continuing to be on top of it and therefore earn the right to get more leads. You with me?
3 quality notes to put in. Number 1, after every conversation, goes into the notes section. Really enjoyed talking to Nikki. What we say is we've edited her property search to be more effective for her. I'll be speaking to her in 48 hours. Note gets put in there, it's put in the pathway. Now, you've actually put yourself on an accountability timeline. Because in 48 hours, there better be another update. Now, that update can be this. Call Nikki again today and send her a text. I've not heard back. We'll stay in touch. That's a quality note. Because they're looking to see what your activity is, so your algorithm score goes higher because they know you're paying attention. That's why Tyson and Tatum, two young killers, can close more than agents that have been doing this for 20 years, because they just do what the algorithm wants. And I always say I can be right or I can be happy, but I generally don't get to be both. I'd rather be happy. So if that's what we do, that's what we do.
Well, real quick, Steve, here's the beautiful thing about this. This algorithm is just a mirror of what you should be doing in your business anyway, right? Whether it's leads on this platform or leads somewhere else, you should be taking notes. You should be putting them in a database. You should be continuing to follow up, because here's what I know. Anyone in this room who's done a significant amount of lead generation in any capacity, whether you're recruiting, whether you're talking to leads to close in your real estate business, whether it's your investment business, whatever it is, true or not true, that you talk to enough people that you're eventually like, who is this? What did we talk about before? You don't remember. So this is your way of picking the conversation right back up, creating trust, creating familiarity, telling them that you're listening when you're having the conversation by way of taking notes. This is for you too. It's not just for the algorithm.
Number 4, your settings need to be optimized, which means you can't be that finicky, picky. I only want leads in Beverly Hills between 2 million and 4 million. I'd like them to be cash buyers or qualified. Thank you. That's an immediate no-go for the algorithms. You have to do things almost the opposite. I'll take leads in a 45-mile radius. I'll take leases, rentals. What does Jason call them when they have the house that has the wheels?
Wheel estate.
A mobile home?
Calls them wheel homes or something. Yeah, mobile homes. Take them all. And then somehow you'll get 3 conversions where you'll make $11 on a lease, make 0 money on a mobile home. But you know what happens when you get a conversion in this world? Here's how it works. Watch me. You sign up. Lease, lease, mobile home, lease, lease, mobile home, lease, buyer. Now they watch all of them. Close this first lease over here. Now it's lease, lease, buyer, lease, buyer, then it waits, then you close another lease. Then it says buyer, buyer, and you close 1 buyer. Then what happens, Tyson? Cash buyer, listing, listing. What's your largest number you closed? Price point in our program?
1,665,000.
1.6? Right. Was your first one 1.6?
It's like a $700 a month. Just joking.
$700 a month? Yeah, that's what it is. I think you told me I made $11. I said, congrats, that's good, you're in the black.
By the way, I think you drove, what was it, an hour and a half to get there?
Yeah, it was far.
And Nikki took 50% of the profit, so well done, that's great, that's really good.
Thank you.
My point is, that's, anybody seen Shawshank Redemption? Where are my Shawshank fans at? Go back to Andy Dufresne. Bangs the rock, has to crawl in the poop pipe. Now you're getting into lead gen. Lease, lease, he's got to go 100 yards. Rental, rental. Holy shit, I'm going to Riverside. I hate Riverside. Okay, but all the way. Then he gets through 3. And he goes out to the water. What's he do? Conversion. 1.6 million. See, there's no glory without the guts. You gotta have your settings optimized. You gotta do the hard stuff. You gotta show. By the way, if someone joined your team, you wouldn't go, congrats, nice to have you. Let me give you all my referrals and my friends, and I'll start there. What do? Oh, you know what? We're gonna put them in the pond, aren't we, Nick? What's the pond? Oh, it's all the great leads. It's the leads that everybody said was dead. That's what you give them, right? To see if they'll do the work. That's what the algorithm's doing to you. Fair?
Every time you give this example, the visual is just in my head for the rest of the day. So thank you for that. And you're welcome for that. And let's talk conversion, because in our world, we prep everybody for this. And here's the conversation I have when an agent joins my organization. The most overlooked and underappreciated success strategy is patience and consistency. That's it. Invariably, every time I come to family reunion or mega camp, it just happened yesterday, somebody stopped me in the hallway and they're like, listen, nobody's around, no one else is gonna hear. I know that you know the special secret that they're not telling me about real estate. Can you just tell me? Like, no, I won't tell anybody, promise. We're in the cone of silence. And I'm like, yeah, come here, I'll tell you the secret. Have you considered doing the work? Because that's literally it. It's not magic, it's not luck, it's not circumstance. It's developing a great plan and executing that plan day in and day out until the dream that you have in your head, the vision that you have in your head for your business becomes a reality. That's it. That's the magic. So you have to stay consistent and understand that you don't snap your fingers and build a billion-dollar business. It takes time and consistency and follow-up. And just like Steve said, you gotta work through the hard stuff in order to be able to get there. And in my world, I coach everybody, just lean into it faster, because you don't get to skip it. Nobody does. None of the people that stand on stage and talk about this got to skip the hard stuff. I don't care what they say. None of us got to skip it. So the sooner you lean into it, the better you'll get at it, and the faster you can get through it. And by the way, the more repetition you have in doing this, the better you get. The more conversations that you have where you're like, wow, I really flubbed that. That was utter garbage. Then you look backwards and say, oh, I'm not gonna do that again. And you do it differently and better the next time. Right? You can't fail unless you give up. You're just in the middle of succeeding. That's all. You're not failing. You're just in the middle of succeeding. You haven't been doing it long enough or consistently enough in order to create the results. So be patient and continue to do what we know works. We know it works. And until you've mastered that, don't do anything else.
President Miller would be so proud of you right now. Don't confuse tenacity with consistency. People will tell me, I'm on your Rice Brothers team, I love it, it's awesome, it's my second week, and I'm always like, oh, this is so cute, this is cute. See him 3 weeks later. These leads are shit, you suck, this program's awful, this is terrible. I'm like, that's how it is. You just gotta be consistent.
That person left you a voicemail.
Yeah, exactly, they did. So the reality is consistency. In your minds, I would hope to work with all of you, but if we don't, take the mindset of what these are, which are not going to change, only going to get bigger, and apply them to every lead program you have. And you'll immediately get bigger and better.